Hello.
Oh, are we on? My bad.
We are live.
We are live. You like that? I learned from you. You clap to start the video, so I'm gonna do that from now on. We are live. This is Mike Duquesne. What? This is a Hobby Talk podcast. Mike Duquesne, David Scrivener. David, how are you doing this Sunday evening?
Good. Do you have more than one camera?
Does it look like I have more than one camera?
No, but I'm just wondering why you would clap. Usually that's
it just gets me pumped up.
Two cameras or two audio sources to get synced up.
Yeah, I just need to psych myself up.
You just need to psych, yeah. The clap is to psych you out.
It's just a good way to start the podcast. So I don't know if you caught me at a bad time, but I was eating my snack since I had to have a food item to discuss, right? So it was my turn.
Yeah, it's your turn to have a snack.
Okay. So I don't know if this is as unique as yours from last week. It's just an ice cream cone. But pretty interesting flavor, I think. I don't know if you've had this. This is like an old school flavor. Rocky Road. Yes?
Rocky Road. I remember that, yeah.
Okay.
I haven't had it in a long time.
Yeah, exactly. I for some reason I had a dream like a couple weeks ago about Rocky Road ice cream. So I felt like I had to get some. And it's really good. I hadn't had it in like 15 or 20 years. Chocolate, marshmallow, almonds, and that's pretty much it. But it's awesome. So basically, my family's been eating ice cream nonstop for the last couple weeks now. So that's it. My review is it's good. Rocky Road ice cream. If you haven't eaten it in like a decade or two, give it a try. It's definitely in the top 15 of the flavors of ice cream.
Now it has like marshmallows. Like, is it like a hard marshmallow in there, or is it like marshmallow flavor, like a swirl of marshmallow?
It has.
I can't remember.
I think it's actual marshmallow, but it's more of a consistency of like the ice cream itself, or like kind of a melted marshmallow kind of.
It's like a swirled marshmallow flavor in there. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. That's
good
probably
stuff.
better than little crunchy marshmallows in there.
It is.
Those marshmallows and like cereal, like Lucky Charms.
That's good too.
Well, yeah, but only once it's soaked up the milk. Like when it's just like a crunchy marshmallow, like, and it like grits on your teeth.
It is a little bit odd for a marshmallow to be that hard. I agree with that, but I would eat it. So let's jump right in here. Unfortunately, in baseball news, it was kind of a rough week. We lost two Hall of Famers this past week, Don Sutton and Hank Aaron. And the Braves fans were hit particularly hard. Both of these Hall of Famers were closely tied to the Braves. So a little bit about Don Sutton. He was a Hall of Fame pitcher for 23 years. He pitched in Major League Baseball for 23 years, which is crazy. He actually spent most of his time with the Dodgers as a player. But I know him as a broadcaster for the Atlanta Braves. That's how I remember him. I wasn't alive when he was pitching, but I was alive and remember watching Braves games and have him as the announcer. So really sad to see that he passed away. And then also Hank Aaron. I mean, that's a real bummer. When I heard the news on Thursday, it was Thursday, right, David?
Yeah, I can't remember which day it was, but
yeah, I think he passed away on this past Thursday. He was 86 years old, so I mean, he was an old man. He lived a long and good life, of course, but still, you're just never really like prepared for that, unless, I mean, maybe if you knew he had a long series of like illnesses or something like that, but it kind of was sudden to me. I wasn't aware that he was sick at all or anything. Of course, when you're 86, anything can happen, but he I didn't get to watch him play because he played before I was born as well. but he played for 23 years as well. So this is kind of ridiculous that the longevity of both of these players was amazing. You don't see players nowadays playing that long, hardly ever. So it's really great. A great career. And of course, 755 home runs just in his career is amazing. A lot of people think consider him the home run champion, career champion, because the people that are above him all have kind of question marks regarding, steroids and cheating and that sort of thing. So he definitely played the game the right way. And, I know him mostly just being a spokesman for the game. And just I've heard him talk in interviews, and he's always been upstanding, humble person. I think one of the quotes that he had that I thought was really, really great was he wanted to be remembered as a great person more so than a great player. I think, at least for me personally, that's how I remember him, because, he just seemed like a really good guy. He had to deal with a lot of racism and adversity when he was playing. And I know that's still kind of an issue today, but it was especially bad back then. And, he handled it with class. So I just wanted to bring that up, just rest in peace, Don Sutton and Hank Aaron. Kind of sad news, but hopefully we can, celebrate their lives, because they're two really good people and brought a lot to the game. So they meant a lot to baseball and, the world in general.
Did you watch the call? Did you watch the call? Was it Vin Scully, I think, called his 715th?
I haven't had a chance to go back and watch. I've seen it.
Check that out.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it a number of times. His famous home run when the two fans or whatever ran on the field. That's kind of crazy. I've seen that multiple times. But yeah, I mean, it's like I said, I don't remember. I never saw him play. I wish I would have had the opportunity to. But he's gonna be a Hall of Famer forever in baseball, and nobody can take that away from him. So, do you have any thoughts about Don Sutton? Do you remember listening to Don Sutton Braves games?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. He was definitely one of the ones that I listened to the most. I mean, because I'm not sure what years he was actually an announcer, but it must have been a good swath of when I actually listened or watched baseball.
For sure, yeah. Unfortunately, I don't have it down how many years he was broadcaster, but it was several years that he was broadcaster for the Braves. So yeah, that was some kind of rough news this past week on the baseball front. I've once again, I'm going to kind of peek to my left a little bit. You'll catch me peeking to the left. I got the TV on. We got the NFL playoffs still going. So we're down to the final game before the Super Bowl. The first game just wrapped up. The NFC champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It's just pretty amazing to me that Tom Brady just keeps winning. He's was with the Patriots forever, won all those Super Bowls, and he's over 40 years old, 42 or something years old, and still out there playing at a very high level. It's just really amazing for him to come over to Tampa Bay and take him to the Super Bowl this year. Is pretty amazing. So, and then this game right now is Buffalo and Kansas City Chiefs. It looks like Buffalo's got an early lead, so that would be a little bit of an upset if Buffalo can hold on. But it's still pretty early, so I'll kind of keep my eye on that. By the time a lot of you all are listening to this, the game will probably be over. So, but you already know. So I won't make any predictions as far as who's going to win.
If the game's not over by the time people are listening to this, that's a long game.
Most likely by the time you're listening to this, the game's over, so you'll already know. But as of this recording, this game is still going on. So, David, tell me, what do you want to talk about now? Do you want to talk about Apple, Tesla, Bitcoin? Which one? Where do you want to go?
I mean, honestly, not a whole lot going on. I'm going to go with Tesla first, because not a whole lot going on. They had like a record, not only a record quarter last quarter, but a record year last year as far as deliveries and everything. But I think a lot of analysts and stuff are not really taking into consideration the growth that they're actually putting in place. So I don't know if you know this, but they have like a new Giga factory that they're building in Texas. You heard about that?
I heard something about that. Yeah, when's that supposed to come online?
So it's going to be sometime this year, probably fall-ish. They're going to start with the Model Y, and then they're going to have the Cybertruck there. Really excited about the Cybertruck. Got my 1 to 5 Cybertrucks on order. But yeah, so the one of the news items that came out today, well, actually wasn't one today, it was a couple days ago, I guess. They started rolling in some of their what they're calling Giga presses. So like the Giga press it's a pretty revolutionary piece of equipment that basically they can stamp like a huge section, like the whole back of the Model Y, for example. They stamp it like in one big block and just say like press it into like a one piece. It's like they're basically trying to get it so that they can just take like 3 large pieces of the chassis and just put them together, and that's it. Which is like crazy. It's gonna be like a Matchbox car, you know. I mean, it's like stamp the whole car and just like spit it out, you know.
I was gonna say that's a pretty easy Lego set. You got like 3 pieces to the Lego set. You just
exactly.
You got the car ready to go.
But that's what it's all about, man. It's about the efficiency of building it, the cost, and everything. But they've got a few of them that are getting deliveries to the Gigafactory in Texas. So they're getting, you know, stuff's going on over there. I'm hoping that like they're going to get something online this summer, actually start building stuff out of Texas, which would be great because, I mean, at least for East Coast, it's going to be a lot closer for anybody getting a Model Y or a Cybertruck. Cybertruck's all going to be built there.
Do you think that'll help with like delivery times, like costs of like transportation, like getting the cars over where they need to go?
Yeah, and that's exactly the whole point is there. So like the Model Y is going to be built there and the Cybertruck, but the Model Y is already right now built in Fremont. So over there in California, if you're in the East Coast getting your Model Y shipped, obviously it's across the whole country. So now you'll have anything that's East Coast or middle of the country is going to be from Gigafactory, Texas for the Model Y.
That's interesting. So do you think there's any concern about this new technology, this new equipment to like just kind of take 3 big pieces and throw them together, like as far as like quality and like safety concern, like is it going to be built still really well, or, you know, obviously they wouldn't put something out that's not safe, but
well, we could go down a rabbit hole on that, but
hopefully not.
I would recommend checking out Sandy Monroe. So like, there's actually a YouTube channel. He's been in the industry a long time, and he goes through like he's been a long time in the industry, and he takes like manufacturing companies and he suggests how to make things better, more efficient, more cost effective, and better, you know, quality. And one of his suggestions was actually to make a press that you cast, you know, one part for the whole back of the car. He actually has he had suggested casting like the entire car, but you know, I don't know if we'll ever get there. I mean, but
so it might actually be better than what it was before.
So then. It's definitely supposed to be. It's better in every way because it's more cost effective. It's you know, quicker, and it's better structurally. So.
All right. Well, that's interesting. We'll see how that plays out. I was going to jump back into the baseball scene a little bit. On the Cubs front, there was a lot of activity the last couple weeks, I guess. Back in January of 9th, Schwarber signed with the Nationals. So Schwarber was the left fielder for the Cubs, who they decided not to sign. And then there's also another Cub that signed with the Nationals on January 18th, Cubs pitcher John Lester. So now Lester joins Schwarber over at the Nationals. So we can call them the Washington Cubs, I guess. They're taking all of our players. So it's interesting because the NL East is just getting nuts. You know, the NL East is getting better and better. That's, of course, the division where the Braves are in. You got the Braves. The Nationals are looking strong. Their pitching rotation now is Scherzer. They've got Strasburg. They've got Corbin, and now they got Lester as a 4. I mean, that's a really good pitching rotation. They got Schwarber now in left field and Masher. So they're going to be a real team to watch out for. So the Braves better watch out. And then the Mets are looking good. They just got Lindor recently, the shortstop from Cleveland, and they already had a great pitching staff with DeGrom and Thor. So that they're going to be really good. So it'll be really interesting. And then the Marlins came out of nowhere last year and made the playoffs. So I mean, the NL East is really strong, and then the NL Central, the Cubs division. I mean, it's struggling. It's looking weak on paper, which might be good for the Cubs because the Cubs are hurting right now. We've got some minor pickups. In our deal with the Padres, we traded away our best pitcher, Darvish, who's a Cy Young candidate, for a middle tier pitcher, Davies, and some prospects. So we're kind of looking for the future there on that trade. But it's kind of interesting how the Cubs have been making a lot of deals. Well, I guess this wasn't a deal. He was a free agent basically, and he signed with the Nationals. But it's interesting how Cubs players and certain organizations seem to be working together. The Padres have worked with the Cubs on a number of pretty significant deals going back a ways. Anthony Rizzo, the star first baseman for the Cubs, came from the Padres organization. Our GM now, Jed Hoyer, originally was a GM for the Padres. So, and they just recently made a deal. So I was thinking about this, in the Nationals, actually, we're talking with the Cubs a lot about Chris Bryant, who's still the Cub for now. But if Bryant goes, we definitely can rename him the Washington Cubs for sure. But I was thinking about this as far as like kind of on a Tesla front. I know you just talked about Tesla, but I wonder if it's similar in the auto industry where there's not trades, but do they work together like company to company? I think they surely talk a little bit. I mean, obviously you don't want to give away your secrets or whatever, competitive secrets, but kind of as an industry, do you think like Tesla's looking at like Honda and be like, ooh, I like what we're doing, but Honda has this that would be really nice if we had this, or if this person came over to Tesla or something like that. Like, let's do a trade. Is there anything like that you're aware of that goes on in like the automotive industry?
Are you talking about actually like engineers, or are you talking about like?
Yeah, well, anything like an engineer, an executive, or just processes. Like Honda's really good at making engines or something, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla's not going to care about engines.
Yeah, they're not going to care about engines, but I mean, maybe there's something like their dealerships are really efficient with a customer service or something.
Well, I would say Tesla is kind of going their own path, separate from basically every other auto manufacturer.
Yeah.
And so, in fact, you have like VW, I guess, is kind of looking at like Tesla as far as, okay, how do we catch Tesla in the EV sector? They're trying to catch up with Tesla because they're leading the way on EVs. So Tesla's kind of gone their own direction. And now it's like it's forcing the other manufacturers to look at how they can make competitive EVs. But as far as like trading engineers and stuff, I would have said it was it's kind of interesting. Like Tesla and Apple have a lot of trading of software engineers.
Yeah, that is interesting that you say that, because
they kind of steal talent back and forth between.
That's kind of where I was going. I've actually heard that Tesla is almost more comparable to like a technology company than they are like a automotive company. Yeah. So maybe it would be more applicable to say, does like what you said, does Apple and Tesla like talk to each other? Do they kind of swap and trade?
Well, they don't. I wouldn't say that they.
Well, they're not trading, but you know,
they don't trade. They don't talk to each other, but people move from company to company, and it is tech. It's tech. So yeah, I mean, Tesla absolutely. I think it's what a lot of people get kind of miss about Tesla is that they don't realize it's actually a tech company. I mean, they're building a car, yes, but it's all about the software. It's all about the tech in the car, and especially with full self-driving, So they're aspiring to be the first manufacturer that has full self-driving cars. That's all software. So they're in-house designing the software and everything, and so obviously it takes a lot of software engineers to do that. So yeah, they steal people from anywhere they can get it, and Apple, I think, is one of those places.
Yeah, I mean, when I asked the question, I kind of was like, I know where this is headed. I mean, if anything, a lot of people are looking at Tesla and be like, what are they doing? Because their stock's exploding. Like, Elon Musk is most, what he's the richest man in the world now. Is that right? Or
Yeah,
if not
I
the
always wonder
richest,
how
he's right
they
up there.
actually like. I mean, I I don't know how you see it, but basically, like if you have a stock, for example, and your stock is worth $1,000, do you say that your net worth is $1,000, or do you say that you own a stock that if you sold it today would be worth $1,000?
Yeah, I'm
Because I
pretty
mean, when
sure.
you really think about it, he doesn't have that
Yeah,
cash.
yeah, yeah.
I mean,
I'm
it's the
pretty
same
sure
thing. They're
they.
they're comparing it to like Bezos. It's the same thing. He owns stock in a company. He
Yeah, I
owns,
guess.
Amazon. So he owns Tesla, SpaceX,
Yeah, I think they
majority of
definitely take.
those
They definitely
companies.
take that stock into consideration. So I mean, if he owns that, 40%, I don't know how much. I know he owns a lot of
Well,
stock in
he doesn't even
Tesla.
draw a salary.
Yeah. Okay, so it's all Tesla then, basically. So he's all in on
It's
Tesla.
like,
Uh,
yeah, actually, to I'm pretty sure that most of what he does, as far as like living off of, uh, you know, for wages, like he just does loans against his stock, I think.
it's just so it's
So
so crazy. I mean, I can't even
yeah,
imagine like he's definitely a different guy. I mean, we could spend all day and many years talking about this guy, but yeah, so that's interesting. I threw in I guess you mentioned Apple. Is there anything interesting going on newsworthy with Apple over the last week or so?
well, it's rumor season, so now they're talking about all the new stuff that's coming out, or maybe coming out. It's always rumors.
Yeah. That's what makes it
But
fun though.
yeah, it's kind of interesting. I don't know if you don't have a phone that has Face ID, do you?
I don't know, does the iPhone 7 have Face ID?
No.
Okay.
use your thumbprint to unlock your phone.
I do. Yeah,
Face
I do.
ID uses your face.
That's right. So I don't have
Yeah.
that.
So Face ID. Anyway, so Face ID isn't actually on anything except for iPhones and iPads right now, and they're talking about it hopefully coming to some Macs. But now they're saying that it won't even come in this next redesign. But I got the Mac Mini with their new M1 chip, and Apple is obviously working on the new computers that are going to be coming out with their new Apple Silicon. And so they only announced basically the lowest end. So I think what's going to be really interesting to see this year is what they come out with as far as the higher end computers. Because right now the M1 chip on the low end Macs that they have is outperforming a lot of high end PCs. So when they come out with what they consider to be the high end, the high end iMac and the Mac Pro, MacBook Pro, all these, it's going to be really interesting to see like how these chips compare to anything else in the industry, because it could be ridiculous. I mean, already the M1 chips are ridiculous, as far as like watt, performance per watt and the cost and everything, and the size of the chip. But uh, yeah, when they come out with the new stuff this year, so it's gonna be interesting to see. Like, all right, there's rumors about thinner and lighter MacBook Airs and totally redesigned MacBook Pro, and the iMac, totally redesigned iMac. So all those are going to be really interesting to see, like what kind of technology they have in those as far as the specs. They're not big on specs as far as like saying like, uh, for example, like how much RAM they have or what gigahertz the processor is or anything like that. They basically just say it's like faster.
But I mean, I appreciate that because I don't know. You can tell me whatever gigabytes and RAM and all that stuff, and I have no clue. But if you say it's faster, I understand that.
Yeah, I mean I think that's one of the things I really like about Apple is like they just say, okay, we wanted to make it faster and cheaper and use less energy, and we did it to like 3x on this chip. That's what they say, and then everybody's like, yeah, whatever, and they do tests, So like you have all these people, like all these like tech nerds are like, oh, I'm gonna benchmark it and I'm gonna see what it's, what's the real deal? Is it actually what they say? And then like this M1 chip like blew everybody away. They're like, what? It's not even possible. They think like it's like half the power for like twice the performance.
That's wild. So you're enjoying your new MacBook then? When did you buy that?
I got a Mac Mini.
Mac Mini.
So it's the desktop. It's like a small. I think I can show it.
Oh, okay. Right, that's it right there?
Yeah. That's wild. It's like, it's like the size of like a plate, and it's maybe, 2 inches tall.
I like
so it's nice. But it doesn't come with a monitor or keyboard or anything, so you get it all separate. But we're probably gonna have to get a computer for Megan because she's got a pretty old one now. So if we do that, we'll probably get a MacBook Air, I'm guessing.
Yeah, well, keep me updated on that. We'll probably need to get a new one. We got a laptop, a Lenovo laptop for Julie. I guess it was last year. Our computer, our laptop that we had it was getting old. It was dying. It wasn't working well. And especially once the kids started working from school, we had to have a reliable laptop. So this seems to be working out well for us. It was a cheap thing. We just needed something that would work. It's worked for us, but now my son is already asking about, I need a laptop. So we'll see. We made it work with this one for now, but I might reach out to you and see about these iMacs and Mac Minis and whatever they're called, because I've always had the Microsoft laptops, so I've never really had we have the iPad, so we use the iPad, but we don't have the Apple computer. So I was going to bring up one other topic here before we close out. Baseball cards. I can't end a podcast without talking about baseball cards. So I've been working, like I talked about last week, I've been organizing my cards, gearing up kind of for 2021 baseball card season to kick in, which will be a couple weeks away, which I'm getting excited about. But I've basically been trying to log them on the computer. So I'm kind of cataloging my cards, my PC, my personal collection. And then I've got a Beckett over here. I kind of keeping an eye on the values and seeing what I project my value of my PC is. So that's been kind of fun. I've got, maybe 50 or 60 more cards I got to log in. But in part of the process of getting ready for 2021, I bought some supplies. So supplies for baseball cards, typically, how do you store the cards, right? So I bought some top loaders, which are just kind of these hard cases that you can put your cards in to kind of protect them. So usually your better cards you want to put in top loaders. Then your less valuable cards you can put in a box or put in a binder or something. So I bought some top loaders from BCW, which is one of the top producers of these baseball card supplies companies. BCW supplies. I opened up the box and I looked at the bottom. Do you know where they're located, where they're headquartered at? Guess.
Georgia?
Georgia, no. Anderson, Indiana. My birthplace, my hometown. No. It was wild. I had no idea. Their headquarters is in Anderson, Indiana. So I was blown away. I was like, I'm buying BCW from now on. I got to support my hometown. That was wild. I had no idea. My hometown was where the headquarters of this baseball card. I guess it's not a baseball card company, but big part of their business is the card and trading card industry. So I thought that was pretty wild. So I just thought I'd throw that out there. I found that out this week, and I was pretty surprised, and I thought that was pretty cool. So are you ready? Are you gearing up for it? Are you excited? We got a couple of weeks here, maybe 3 weeks before the Top Series 1 comes out. You'll be opening your first box of cards in probably 2 decades. You
Yeah, I
ready
think
for it?
you're gonna have to let me know when like the beginning of the season starts. Like I'm gonna have to get into it like the very beginning of the season. I think that's part of the
Yeah.
problem too. If I don't get like involved with baseball, like the Braves, like right at the beginning of the season, I think I'm because I got to learn.
Yeah.
I got to learn who the players are. I got to learn who I care about. Who I'm looking for. If I don't
Yeah,
do that,
you got it,
I don't
man.
know.
I'm
You're gonna
gonna
have a
hold your
hard
hand
time.
all the way across this season. We're gonna work on this together. I'll let you know. Don't worry. I'll let you know when the spring training starts, when the regular season starts. We'll kick you off. I mean, one of the good things about baseball, honestly, a lot of people don't think that you have to start at the beginning. The season's pretty long. Typically, last year was the exception. They had to shorten it because of COVID. Hopefully, like I said, we still don't know for sure, but hopefully the season will be regular length this year. We'll see. But it's a really long season, 162 games. So if you miss 1 or 2 games, it's not going to be the end of the world. I try to at least keep an eye on the scores, every
Yeah,
day. But
yeah. I mean, what I mean is I need to have some sort of knowledge of the players on
I,
the team. Like if I'm hearing it announced or I'm watching it and I'm like I don't even know who this guy is, that's gonna that takes away from
I've
it.
got
And I'm gonna be working from like basically nothing because I
yeah.
don't know. I mean, is Freeman still on the Braves?
Freeman is the Braves. Freeman is
Okay,
the Braves have a
so
lot of good
I
players.
got one. I got one player that I know
You
and
nailed
I'm
it.
watching.
Freddie Freeman.
That's it.
So I hear a homework assignment for me. I've got to start, writing stuff down, getting all these players, their backgrounds and everything. I'll get it ready to go. Well, maybe we'll do, once we get into the season, we'll do one player each week, and we'll just talk about the player. We'll say,
Yeah,
like Ronald Acuna, and we'll just dig into Ronald Acuna, like where did he come from, where did he grow up, what are his stats, like where does he play, what positions does he play. So that's a good. I think we just got a plan for down the road here. So once the baseball season starts, we'll pick a player. Obviously, you like the Braves, I like the Cubs, so maybe we'll swap Cubs, Braves players. Hopefully, the people listening like the Cubs and Braves. If not, maybe you'll learn to like them. But we'll talk about baseball. But definitely, man. The cards will come before the season starts, so hopefully that won't be a problem for you. The cards are coming the second week in February. The spring training won't start until later, but definitely it'll get you gearing up for the season, and then you'll have the cards and you'll be ready to go. You'll be like, okay, I got this player now. Is he any good? And if you end up getting really involved in it, you'll start kind of rooting for certain players. If you have a good card, a lot of the people that actually collect cards, they'll be really rooting for them. Especially if they're in it for investment purposes, trying to flip it, like sell it and stuff. If you get a good card and they're performing well, the value goes up. You can trade, sell it and make some money off of it. So it'll be interesting. We'll go through this together. I'm kind of new at it again. I mean, I was out of the hobby for a long time too. So I just got in last year, back into it. So I'm still learning the hobby and everything. So it'll be fun, man. But that's all I got for this week. Do you have anything else? Any closing thoughts?
Should have had more Bitcoin.
So Bitcoin's still doing well, huh?
Yeah, but right now it's Ethereum. I was gonna say, make sure you get some more Ethereum before it goes over 1400. But while we were on this call, it went up to 1442. So too late.
See, it's just I'm always
It's too
a
late.
step
It's
late.
too late.
I'm always a step late on the Bitcoin and the Ethereum. Is that what you called it?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know though. Ethereum's it's gonna be hot. I mean, it's gonna be good year for the Ethereum. But they do have. I was gonna mention this Grayscale coming out with some more crypto trusts potentially. So some of their other tokens. I know we talked a little bit about GBTC.
mm-hmm.
So they're actually maybe gonna make some other trusts. I think they have one for Ethereum. actually, but it sounds like they might do one for like Chainlink, Basic Attention Token, Decentraland, which I've never even heard of, or LivePeer, and then Tezos, which I have heard of. So that's something to look out for, because if they do make trust for that, that's, I mean, it's a big backing of like some other altcoins that people probably, for the most part, maybe not heard of. I think everybody's heard of Bitcoin, and then you get to Ethereum. Sounds like you weren't too familiar with Ethereum, but
no.
Beyond that, there's like 7,000 altcoins.
So they got to like work themselves out, right? Like some of these have to like kind of die out, and some are going to take over, right? They're not going to they're going to have like 7,000 forever. Like some of these are just going to probably go away, then they're going to combine into one or something, right? Or two or three.
Well, what's interesting is like, I mean, the big thing, obviously Bitcoin was the first one, and then you had like Ethereum came out, and then with the last bull market in like 2017, it was all about like all these initial coin offerings, and so that's like just like thousands of coins were made, and a lot of them were just like people just trying to make money really quick, and there was no actual,
it wasn't like a
purpose of the
business.
token. Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of that going on back then, and then now there's a lot of DeFi stuff going on with Ethereum, and that's, I think, the big boom for Ethereum this year. So, but a lot of these things are built off of Ethereum rather than Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin's pretty much on its own. It's kind of like gold, it's kind of like, it's like a store of value more so, and Ethereum is built more for like other applications to use it. So like decentralized finance is what they call it. But anyway, we don't have to get into all that. But Ethereum is going to be hot this year, so
you heard it from David. Ethereum, get on it now before it's 15,000. David is at 15,000.
This is not financial advice.
If you go bankrupt, you can't blame this podcast. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you all enjoyed it. This has been the Hobby Talk podcast with Mike Duquesne and David Scribner. Thank you all for watching, listening. Take care. God bless.